back to the channel. As promised, we're going to be taking a look at the Clawform 6.5 from Follow Forms. This is going to be something a little bit different than what we've done in the past. We've covered the Crankform 6 and the Crankform 7. Those are both square bills, but as you can tell by looking at this mold, this has a rounded bill, so it's kind of more similar to what you'd find on a medium to deeper diving crankbaits. Just kind of that rounded, elongated bill. So I'm curious to do that. But not only that, the mold itself, when you put the bill in and you rubber band it together and you pour your casting resin in, the mold actually has detailing on the bill. So it has pinchers that kind of extend down onto the bill. So I'm very curious on how that's going to look and how that's going to work. So let's get right into it. I'm going to do a quick overview of what you're going to need, but I'm going to go a little bit faster than I have in the previous videos just because most of this stuff is the same. If you need a little bit more details on these products, look at the Crankform 6 or Crankform 7 video on the channel because the process is very similar on these, and you can kind of get a little bit more information about that. But we'll just start with the mold. This is the mold itself. I have some very early production runs that Follow Forms sent me. So if you see any kind of cosmetic defect or anything like that in the molds, it may not be representative of what you're going to get. I just have some very early production runs. So this is the mold itself. It comes with the metal alignment pins like we are used to seeing from them. Comes with some rubber bands. I just keep them in a little pull-out just because it makes it a lot more easy to organize. Some things you're going to need some screw eyes. I think all of the screw eyes for their three baits are all the same. So these are .062 and they are 3/4 inch closed eye. I get these from Lure Parts online. I also am going to be using the same weight I've been using. This is 3.4 gram. This is actually double-aught buckshot that I drill a hole in. But if you look on the Follow Forms website for the Clawform 6.5, he actually has a Lure Parts online, like a link to, well, not really a link, but it has an item number to a 3.5 gram. It's like a barrel weight looking thing. Anyways, it'll do the job. So if you don't have access to this, don't worry. You can get your hands on those from Lure Parts online and use those. I'm just going to use these because I already have them and they're going to work out just fine. You're also going to need some lips. These take different lips, obviously, because they're not square bills. These are PO 300 lips. It says 8412-05. The 05 probably means that it's a 5-pack. You can get these from Lure Parts online as well. And you're going to need some casting resin. So this is the resin that I've been using. I'll leave a link. It's an Amazon link down in the description below. Part A, Part B. And you're also going to need microspheres. One thing I will say, I haven't mentioned it in the other two videos. If you're going to be doing very many of these, you are going to want to wear a respirator to deal with this stuff. I don't wear one while I'm filming just for the audio quality for you guys, but this is glass. They are tiny glass microspheres. You don't want to be breathing this stuff in. So take a little bit of money, buy yourself a respirator, and just protect your lungs. There's nothing more important than your health. So definitely just be aware, be smart with what you're doing. And remember, these get airborne really easy and they are glass. You don't want to be breathing all those in. Get you a pocket scale. I also got this on Amazon. Get you something that does grams. You can get something cheap. It doesn't really matter all that much. And I have a drill and a drill bit to drill holes in those, but if you buy the ones that come from Lure Parts online, the weights that come from them, you won't have to drill holes in these. If you're curious how I do that, it's in the Crankform 6 and Crankform 7 video that are available on the channel. So now that all that's out of the way, I'm going to bring you back here, show you what this mold looks like put together, and then we'll mix up some casting resin and see if we can't pour some of these. So one thing that's kind of interesting about this mold versus the Crankform series is the lip actually has the line tie built in it. So you don't have to go ahead and put a line tie in the front of the mold like you usually do. I've got our 3 alignment pins in here, and I've also got the bill when I went ahead and inserted it in here as well because we're going to be pouring around it. I've got our back hook hanger in, and what I did is I actually put the weight on this hook hanger here because I'm going to leave this in here and I don't actually have to take this out. If I put it on this one, I have to pull the screw eye back out and there's going to be a hole in the front of the bait that I have to fix. So somebody in one of the Crankform videos, I think it was the Crankform 6 video, recommended to just put it on the front hook hanger. So I went ahead and tried that, stuck it in the test tank to see if it would work, and it works beautifully. So I don't have a problem with that, and it also can leave this hook hanger in, and it doesn't leave a hole in the bait, and it gets that weight right up next to the front, and it makes it sit very nice in the water too. So that is kind of something that I learned from you guys, and I wanted to make sure that I shared that. But this mold is ready to be clamped together with some rubber bands, and then we'll mix some resin. Also, one thing I can't ever remember at the beginning of these videos for some reason is you're going to want some mouthwash cups and some popsicle sticks to stir with. Don't buy nothing fancy. You're going to ruin it every time you do this. So just get something cheap. I get the cups at like a Family Dollar, and then I get the sticks usually at Hobby Lobby. So just get something cheap because you're going to ruin it. I'm going to show you how I mix my resin for these. So we're going to turn our scale on, put our cup on the scale. We're going to tare our scale so it says that it's 0. See if I can get this to where you can see it. I don't know, we'll do our best here. And we're going to add our microspheres first. So these are the microspheres that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to do the same recipe that I do for the Clawform 7. They're about the same size of base. So we're going to add some of this carefully because we'll make a big mess. Come on, come out of the cup. And we're going to add 3 grams of this. Okay, that's pretty close to 3 grams. It's 3.06, which is close enough for me because I'm just going to be making these up for the video. So we got that done. Now we're going to add part A. And we don't have to worry about this creating a reaction until we add both parts. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to tare it so it's back at 0. And then I'm going to add about 10 grams of this part A. Okay, there is 10.18 of the part A. So we're just going to stir this very slowly, trying not to get this airborne here. And we'll stir it for just a minute, and then it'll kind of get a little bit thicker, and you'll start to see that this stuff isn't going to get airborne, and you can speed up a little bit. Just try to go slow to start with. Okay, then it turns into a little bit of a paste, and you can kind of stir it a little bit faster. Just make sure it's mixed up good. You don't want a bunch of dry powder left in there, so just get it mixed up good. We might even have time to paint one of these today in this video. I've got a new UV tank, which is pretty cool. I can actually set stuff up with UV resin super fast, which I'm kind of excited about as the weather warms up. We can kind of do some stuff in the same day and then go fish with it. All right, that is mixed up, kind of a milkshake consistency, and that is what we want. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this back on here. Gonna tear that out, so we're back at 0. And we're going to add the part B. So once we start putting this part B in here, we're kind of starting a clock. So this stuff sets up really fast, so I'm going to try to move very quickly. I'm going to try to match that 10.18 as close as I can. This is a 1-to-1. So let's add this, mix it, and then we're going to immediately pour it in one of the molds. Okay, that is 10.21 of the B, so that's close enough for me. We're just going to mix this up really good because you don't want any parts that are unmixed. I'm going to go quickly. Okay, that's pretty good. Gonna get it off of our stir spoon real quick. I'm gonna move the scale out of the way. We are mixed up and it is time to do our pour. So I'm gonna try to just hit that hole the best I can. And we're just gonna see how it goes. I wish that hole was a little bit bigger. Not gonna lie, I feel like I'm having to force feed this thing. Wish it was a little bit bigger, but it's going down in there. It just takes a minute. I like the size of the hole on the other molds because I can hit directly down in it and it just fills it perfectly without hitting the sides too much. But we're just gonna have to see how she fills out. Hopefully she's vented good enough that it's not a problem without being able to pour directly in there. All right, we are topped off and we'll just have to see see how she does. I was hoping to see some stuff coming out of this little vent here, but I don't really know what to expect. This is one of my first times pouring this. We'll just have to see. Well, I guess it's now or never. Let's crack one of these things open and see how it turned out. I'm not even really sure the best way to go about opening this one. I guess we'll just start at the top, work our way around. I don't really know. Oh, that thing is cool looking. Look at the detail on that. That is freaking sweet. And there you go. You can see the pinchers there on the bill too. Man, that is so cool. He is so talented. I could not even imagine carving the master for something like this. Like, I don't know how these guys do this stuff. It is absolutely insane that someone's brain can come up with that and then they're able to even execute on that. That is crazy. Okay, let's see if I can get this thing out of the mold here. It's so strangely shaped compared to what I am used to that I don't really know. Let's see. Okay. How cool is that? That is pretty good. We're gonna have to clean some of this up. This stuff comes off super easy with a like an X-Acto knife, so I'm gonna clean this up and then we'll take another look at it. Well, I took an extra minute or two and cleaned those up with the X-Acto knife, and man, these things are cool. I love the amount of detail on the side of these, and just having those pinchers on the bill. That's just something that's really different and you don't see it a whole lot. I'm kind of curious how the painting process is going to go. I'm probably going to end up painting the whole build, trying to get those painted. I'm not an expert painter. I'm sure there's a great way to do that. But for the most part, we're just going to have to see what we can do. I'm going to drop one of these in the test tank, see how it sits, and then we'll flip over to the paint booth and paint one of these up just to see what one painted looks like. We haven't actually poured and painted in the same video, so this could be a cool opportunity to do that. All right, we have our hooks on here, and let's just drop one of these in here and see how she sits. She sits beautifully. That is exactly what we were hoping for. Kind of got that nose down where that bill can catch some water, and that's going to work out just fine. That weight ratio is pretty good, so I think I can stick with that. Okay, let's put a paint job on this thing. So what I'm thinking for this one is we're going to do some vibrant crawl like on this Clawform 7 here. This is one I have on the website, and I think we're going to paint this color, this same pattern. It's a pretty easy pattern to paint, and it looks very realistic and very good. So that's what we're going to roll with. There's a couple colors we're going to need. We're going to use opaque red. That is from Createx. We are going to use fluorescent orange. This is also from Createx. And we are going to use opaque black. Those are the only three colors that we're going to use, and then we're going to use some 8-bit baits powder in the clear coat when we do the clear coat. I don't know if I'll show that or not, but you can see it's got that awesome color shift in the black there. Okay, we had some issues there. I was trying to figure out how to hold this thing and film at the same time, but I forgot I have these lure holders, and that works great. We're starting with the fluorescent orange from Createx here, and I'm just going to do the bottom half of the bait with this, and then kind of roll up on the sides. It's going to take a few coats to get this exactly how we want it, and I'm just going to do the lip and everything because I don't really care too much. This is for me, so we're just kind of going to roll with the punches here. And I'm going to heat set this and do it a couple coats, make sure it's nice and thick. And then once I get it how I want it, we'll move on to the next color. So here's what it looks like after the orange. I had to get rid of a little piece that was stuck here that I didn't notice, but I went ahead and cleaned that off with a knife. And we are good to go on the orange. Now we're going to be moving on to the opaque red. And we're just going to go down the other part and start cleaning that up. Kind of fade it down through there. Same thing down the top. I'm not worried about getting the top perfect because we're going to go over it with black anyway. So we're not gonna sweat it if it ain't perfect down the top. We just want a nice, clean fade down the sides. Let our overspray kind of go down on that orange. And then I'm going to hit these claws here, right on the front. Make sure we get the sides. Very nice. Okay, and then I'll get the nose maybe, if I can turn it. And then we'll clean all that up with a knife here in a minute if we have any issues. Get this nice and dry. Okay, that is nice and dry now. And as you can see, we're looking pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, let's move on to black. We're ready to move on to some opaque black down the top here. And we are going to dial our gun back just a hair. Make sure we don't get too crazy of a pattern here. Okay, down the back we go. A little black down the back. A little bit down the back, a little bit on the edge. I like to put a little bit on the eye. Just kind of right down the top and kind of around that eye. And I'm going to do the same on this side. That's looking pretty good. Not too bad there. We'll do a little bit right on the edge of that. Kind of go around that a little bit better. And I think I'm going to hit the nose. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, let's put a heat set on this. Nice little heat set, and there we go. That looks pretty dang good if you ask me. We'll actually paint an eye to put in here. And if you don't know how to paint crawfish eyes, I'll show you how to do that. I just kind of saw somebody do it, and I'm like, that makes a whole lot of sense if you ask me. So let's go ahead and do that. If you didn't know and you carry other eyes, these are actually some red eyes with some black pupils. If you didn't know, you can just take some black, wicked opaque black, and paint over the eyes and then heat set it, and there you go. You have some nice crawfish eyes. So now the fun part, we get to add some awesome 8-bit baits hollow shift powder. This is molten core, and we're going to be adding that to our UVLS. This is 4050 gloss, and I have some reducer mixed into this. And we're going to put some here in this little cup. And then I'm going to take this and open it carefully. See if we can avoid making a huge mess. Okay, apparently I left my man hands at home. There we go. That is what we're going to be adding to the top coat. Beautiful color. And I'm just going to take this screwdriver and rake me a tiny bit of this off into this cup of UVLS. Okay, set this out of the way. And then we'll give it a stir. Make sure we don't have any clumps that are going to jam our airbrush up. This stuff is awesome for color shift. Okay, now that I got that ready to go, we'll put some of this into our airbrush here. Dump it right in the top. Beautiful. Now, we're going to make sure our gun's all the way open. Oh yeah. Grab our bait here. I went ahead and put some eyes on it. As you can see, they look absolutely awesome. And now we're just going to go down the bait and add some of this in. This will give it some UV protection, and it gives us an opportunity to get that nice sparkle that 8-bit gives it. And then when we put our resin on, it'll just bring it out even further. It'll lose a little bit of that gloss when we heat set this. But that's okay. Grab our heat gun. It's a lot better doing that off camera because I can use my vent in my station. It gets a little foggy doing that without the vent on. Okay, I think we are good to go. Very nice. Here is a last little look at this bait. I think it looks pretty awesome. I'm excited to put some UV resin on this and take it out and fish it a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to share this process with you guys. I think these look awesome. I just can't get over how much detail is in this bait. I thought the Crankbait had a lot of detail, but holy crap, this thing has even more detail than that in my opinion. I'm excited to do some more of these. I think there's going to be a lot of different color possibilities with all the different segments this bait has where you could break it up into different colors. I think it's pretty cool. But I hope you guys did enjoy this, and I hope you decide to make some of your own. And if you do, let me know how it goes. And if you have any tips for making these better pours, be sure to let me know down in the comments below because I would love to hear your input. So that is the Clawform 6.5. Made a couple, even got to paint one here on the video. So I hope you guys did enjoy that. If you're only here for the soft plastics, don't worry, I have some soft plastic stuff coming up. But I just wanted to get the information on these out there in case some people are wanting to order some molds, order some parts, and maybe they're waiting on this video. But here it is. And I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you want to pick up these molds, I'll leave a link in the description below to Follow Forms. Great company. You can check them out down below. And they have a lot of useful information. And they have the part numbers to stuff you're going to need for this mold. So just go to their website and go to the mold you're interested in and just scroll through the pictures and all the information they have. It's a truly good resource for information when you are making these. If you want the links to the casting resin and stuff I use, they'll be down in the description below. And if you want to buy any baits from me, soft plastics or some hard plastics, I'll leave a link to my store down below as well. All that money goes back into this so I can keep making these videos for you guys. But until then, until we have some more stuff to make videos on, maybe some soft plastic stuff here shortly, I will catch you guys in the next video.